Hi, my name is Loude Zue, owner of flowerflylifestyle.com. You can follow me at Loude Zue and at Flowerfly Lifestyle. I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a lifestyle tastemaker. Hit me up.
So far on your journey, has it been fun? Like all of these challenges that we've been talking about, have they been fun?
Yes, I couldn't do it if it wasn't. Yeah, absolutely. You get, man, life is such a great space, and I know it's not, life isn't fun all the time, but man, when you start making it what you want it to be, that's that stuff right there, man. Like, because you can get a job and you do that, but if you're a creative person that's creative like myself, and you want to continue to create and produce things, you start making it, you see it happen out into the world, man, throughout all the challenges and everything, you realize this is what I'm here for. It's like a flower. It's like you come up from the dirt, you bless your time in the sun, whatever makes you happy. So be it public speaking, be it painting, you're an artist, you're whatever you do, you have, I absolutely believe it is vital, absolutely necessary that you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because everything else is going to tell you that you shouldn't be doing it. And it's, everything is going to, might try to discourage you from it. But if you enjoy it, then you're doing what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
For sure.
Yeah. If you could go back into time and you talk to your little self or your younger self, what kind of words of wisdom would you give yourself?
It's a great question. Meet as many people as you can. For sure. I had a long period of time when I was a kid, because you don't think about stuff like this, but like I was introverted. And I was cool because I was like into myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be to understand the power of networking sooner and take it more seriously, And I mean that in your friendships, build genuine friendships. And that's building a supportive circle of people that want to see you do well, and not just, speak fear into your dreams and goals. Don't do that stuff. But meeting people is extremely important, because some of the best opportunities I've ever had was just taking advantage of the opportunity and saying, let me just go talk to so-and-so. And collaboration, because when you meet people, you don't need a resume. You're in a genuine relationship with that person, and they want to put, that's a wonderful thing, and then collaboration, because you don't need money to do something like that. So at whatever stage of the creative process that you're at, if you can find someone that's willing to work with you, and y'all work together and promote together, that increases your network. You know what I'm saying? That increases your skill set. So, man, I would just get out there and talk to people, because you never know who you're going to meet. And even still, you never know who you're going to impact, because some people, no, they're not on what you're on, but you find out that you've inspired somebody. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Where did you get that spirit from? Like, it's kind of like the entrepreneurial artist spirit. Where'd you get it from? Like, do you think you got it from your mom, your dad, or you just kind of learned it over time?
I would say first my mom, because she's extremely creative, and I inherited that creativity from her. And then life, because she instilled in me she was working at the bank. She was just like, get a steady job, a good income, and then you can buy your house. And it's like, there was like a path already set out. And then once I realized, and I got into the world myself, I was like, this is not, first of all, it's not what I want. It's really, really boring. And then nothing is secure, because once, First Union turned into Wells Fargo, she lost her position at that job at that time. So I learned nothing is steady. You know what I'm saying? So only the jobs that you make for yourself. And that in turn made me be like, well, I might try whatever lane that I'm interested in. Let me do a little bit of everything. Because I went to college, but it was community college. So I'm not strapped with that 6-figure debt where I feel obligated to go down that path. I paid cash for school. So it's like, whatever, if I want to try it, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm guessing your mom is supporting you on just kind of like being free and kind of like following your own path.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, I always wore like these dirty sneakers, or just they were like laced up really weird, and they were like dirty because I skateboarded and wrestled and everything else, and I drew on them. Mm-hmm. And I asked her, Mom, if I was ever invited on the Oprah show, would you let me wear these shoes? And she said, if you ever get invited onto the Oprah show, it's because you were yourself. So yes, I would let you wear the shoes. And so that was like, I would just be me, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Anywhere I get, be myself, period. And I shouldn't settle for less.
Absolutely. But you know what? I think we all need that. And you can chime in on how you feel about it. But I think we all need it. I think we all need that one person who's going to direct us towards our success.
I'll say it like it is important. It's important. Sometimes it's not even the person that you think you have, because I mean, my mom was there, but I certainly found role models in other people as well, even people that didn't know me.
Yeah.
My role models are people that I've never met.
Okay.
You know what I look up to. So it's like, I understand, but some people might not have that direct person in their life to look up to. And so it's like, shit, I feel like if it's going to make you a better person, put yourself in a circle that's going to support you. But even if your circle don't support you, keep it to yourself and pick something that you like and grind on that. And if no one's fucking with it, if you fuck with it.
well, speaking of Oprah, name some people that you kind of like, I guess, would like to meet, I guess, that you are inspired by.
Sure. Okay, I can't tell you their names at the moment because my recall is total trash, but I promise you I know their names. The first one is the founder of the Raw Cones, Raw Papers.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot. I think he's an excellent example of a free spirit that does what he wants. He's in his creativity, extremely successful, but is able to remain himself. And the other one is the founder of the Arizona iced tea drinks.
Yeah.
I really look up to him as well, because if you see his story where he started, it was like a tea hustle and how he grew it into this giant conglomerate, but he was able to keep the price the same because that was his mission. You know what I'm saying? If you can believe in death, taxes, and Arizona teas are going to cost $1.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He ran the way that he want to run it. So I really look up to those two guys for sure.
Man, I used to love those things. And then I found out, like, I started kind of watching my sugar intake. So I stopped drinking them. But I used to just love those things. I probably had like 2 or 3 a day because of the cost and the taste.
That's what I'm saying. It's that light little, and the can is nostalgic at this point. But it's like you said, it's got a lot of sugar. But I'm telling you, for someone, especially if you ripping and running and you're young, you need something to grab. You got $1, you can bet on the Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Raw. He never compromised his quality for the sake of expansion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I truly believe in being authentic and owning your product. You know what I'm saying? More than anything. And not selling out just because you sell out if you want to, but if you want to run your shit and you're not ready to retire, then do you.
Absolutely. So how do you select what you are going to create as far as like painting and the other creative things that you do?
With painting, I gotta be in a mood for it. And I know it sounds messed up, but like I will take very long breaks from painting. Just because I don't know, I'd be forgetting that I know how to paint sometimes. Like I'd be like, I just feel like I don't like this. And then when I do it again, it's like, oh God, I forgot how good this feels. But to make that space sometimes is not always the easiest. So it's like, what I make has got to be cartoony. I'm really big into cartoons. I was a kid of like the 90s and watching a lot of TV. So it's like,
I see that.
Graffiti-ish. I'm sitting in front of like our art van here, which is like a bunch of other artists too, but like the nonprofit that my girlfriend and I were running, we was able to get the van and have a bunch of other artists paint on it. So sometimes my craft includes other people, starting a nonprofit, running art gallery parties, things like that involved other people. And I started to realize that I could take the power of what I do on canvas, because a picture is wonderful. It's great. I love to brighten up somebody's space. And I don't like a lot of mass produced art. And I wanted to be a part of, putting what I like out into the world. But I realized that there's a whole lot of power in bringing others to your creative zone. Is good for you. It's great character development for you, organizational skills for you. But to set someone else on their path is also just incredible. I think it brings a lot of great karma towards you to help other people. Yeah.
And you've had an art show or two before, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I threw art shows for other people. And then my art shows, I've done like some solo exhibitions and I've been featured in other people's galleries and things like that. But that kind of stuff is really cool just because it's like something that came in my head. Other people appreciate it. It's wild to think what's in your mind. Other people like it.
Yeah. Well, how does that work exactly? I'm not like, I always see it on TV, but I've never really been privy to like to go to one. Like when you're, so explain it to me from the artist side, as well as I guess you would be the person who is the curator or the person putting it together.
You saying like why someone should look into art?
Well, no, tell me what that
experience,
tell me what that experience is like. Cause like I've never had that experience. I've never even gone to an art show. Like my experience is limited to what I've seen on Netflix or YouTube. So I'm trying to get the experience.
I got you. Well, look, everybody's show is different. Like if you go to the museum, obviously you got to be a little more quiet. You're to yourself. No one's really walking you through anything and you don't get to meet the artists. But I'm a big fan of local art shows because that's that time, like there's somebody in the corner that's like looking at you, looking at their art, like, oh my God, I hope that they stop and stare and take a picture in front of it or something like that. Like I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, so going to that, I think the experience is one of community building. I think that's important. It's supporting an artist, whether you see them or not in that space. I know that they appreciate you being there and taking that time to look at the piece. It's expanding for you because maybe you have something and you might've been shy to put your work out there and you see their work and now you're like, this actually is pretty attainable. This is doable. You know what I'm saying? So when you go in, depending on the show, I know if you go into one of my shows that I curate personally with Urban Zoo, you're going to walk into an experience that's, yes, you're going to have your art, but it's also going to be one of networking. Mm-hmm. So we encourage you to talk to other people. Me and my girlfriend and us as the curators, we'll come up to you. Hey, would you like to get to know so-and-so? Here, meet so-and-so. Here's the artist. We'll pull people in towards you. Mm-hmm. But we also have live artists there as well. So we've had like a fire dancer.
Oh, wow. We've
break dancers, singers, poets. It really is just like a gala of different types of art as well, because some people might be like, well, I'm not really into this, but you're staying for this. You know what I'm saying? And your community's got a wealth of different types of artists around. So that's a great time.
Yeah. Well, what is your demographic? Maybe not intentionally, but what seems to be the demographic that are turning out to either your show or to something that you produced and put on for other artists?
Millennials.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay.
And I'm saying like this because I think because we grew up in a world of technology where it's like friends are not real friends. They're more so like numbers, like numbers is your status of friends. They're not real friends. I think my generation has a starvation for real bonds, getting to know people, being around people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes maybe because of the internet, it's like we almost have gotten awkward in how to do that. That's so right. Having a created experience in meeting people, it's like, oh, someone else is controlling the event and I still get to talk to other people. I still get to meet with other people in the capacity that I feel comfortable with, versus maybe if you go out to, just an example, and I'm not saying this is always the rule, but like if you go out to a bar, no one really cares unless they're attracted to you to come up to you and talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And then they have their motive. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, I think there's a lack of getting together now. And then we got COVID, which made it extra cautious. Like, dude, I know like the mask the mask thing, the mandate is coming. But like I was really missing smiles for a very long time.
Me too.
So, me too. Like here to like, because to smile with your eyes, it's like, man, you got to go like extra hard. But like I'm from the South, so it's like when you walk past someone, it's like a hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get that little, like a little smile or something, you know? I was missing that.
Yeah. How are you defining the term artist these days? Like what how do you define that?
Great question. I think an artist is a creator. Mm-hmm. In whatever capacity, but you put forth what doesn't already exist, or you expound on what exists, but in your own originality, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a creative procedure. I tell you, identifying as an artist, it's like, it's messy. It's not always it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of it's internal. That's why I say I will literally forget that I can paint, that I can create something. I can let my own mood and energy stop me sometimes if I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think if you put your work out there, you have pride in it, and it's your own level of creativity, then you're an artist.
Yeah.
You're an artist for.
What do you think that being an artist is something only an artist can understand?
I think you got to identify as an artist to understand it.
That, yeah.
I think a lot of people do a lot of creative shit and they don't realize that they're an artist because it's not the typical, well, I'm not on a canvas. I'm not a painter. I'm not a singer. So am I an artist? And like, like the yard that I'm in right now, right? This is my land, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought a house last year, okay? And when I look at my landscapers come out here and do what they do, I'm like, this is amazing. I mean, you such fine detail to make sure that you got the grass at the proper level, the edgings at a beautiful level. You got the rocks where that's aesthetically pleasing. Like an artist, they took their time to make this beautiful in their own craft. You know what I'm saying? So it's anything. It's anything, but maybe they might not see themselves. This is just my job.
Right.
You do a job.
Absolutely.
It's that attention to detail to me that makes it like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's beautiful. You taking a very simple task and you turned that up because you care.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Well, do you use colors intentionally? Like, do you say like, an orange may make me feel this way or make the viewer feel this way? Are you intentional and deliberate about your colors?
I am, but not necessarily because like the color might make me feel some type of way, but I will say, I don't like two of the same colors touching. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like if I got an orange background, I don't want the character to have orange in the detail. Okay. Or something. Like, I just don't like, and then I do like a lot of custom colors too. So that means that if I make a mistake, I can't go back and retouch this painting because I can never create this color again. So that's how I perceive color. It's like, because sometimes I don't even think I be knowing my colors, to be real. Like, I don't know, I get into it all the time where it's like, is this blue or is this purple? I have no freaking clue. Okay. And then how I feel, I like all the colors because it's like, damn, like you're totally different from the other color. Like, I don't know, that sounds weird, but I'll put it like this. How I feel about colors. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just found out that shrimps can see colors that humans can't see. Like, there's like a whole other range of colors that we do not have the eye capacity to even notice, right? To see in our. And I just find that so fascinating because it's like we take for granted our colors. Orange is orange. Like, okay, like yes, I see that. That's a fact. Green is green. That's a fact. But like, you imagine if you were like exposed to a wealth of colors that you never saw before, like how.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
It would be awesome. Like, watch a video of someone that's colorblind getting the color glasses for the first time. Okay. Awe in their face when they realize what color is. It makes you want to cry. But I think it's something that, because I've always had the ability to see color, I do think in that sense it's taken for granted because I've never detoxed from color. I've never been void of color. Mm-hmm. You know, so I do think in that sense, I don't see color as a feeling because it's like, it's a fact. It is what it is. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a favorite piece that you've created so far?
Mm-hmm. My favorite piece is the one I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then some of them are really dope though. And they get sold or, and I miss them. But like, my favorite piece is like the one that I'm looking at. Like, it's like my baby, it's like, look at you, like, you're gorgeous. It's stressing me out, trying to make it work. But yeah, it's if I'm in front of you and I'm looking at you and I'm trying to make you what's in my head or whatever comes out of that, you're my favorite piece. You're exactly. I care about you a whole lot. That King of the Hill piece, speaking of like adult like characters. I grew up without cable, so but I still consumed a lot of TV. So King of the Hill was one of the shows that I watched a lot, and it was like kid funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like sarcastic or had like a lot of adult themes, and Hank Hill was like stressed out a lot. I don't know if you're familiar talking like but it was just like, I don't know. As I grow up, I tend to identify with those types of cartoons now, where it's like it's not always funny. Like you be like, damn, life is a trip. Life is crazy.
Almost like, I guess, like South Park too, though. South Park kind of has that adult feel to it, and kind of make sure that you're paying attention to some of the realer stuff.
That's exactly right. Now, South Park is fucking disgusting. Like, it is so nasty. Like almost like Beavis and Butthead, where it's like they just be so gross. Like there's a character that's literally a piece of shit, and it's just like to be behind the scenes of that, working on that is like, who thinks of this kind of shit? Like, now nasty. Like, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I've been like a voice character for a video game.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that's why I say, if you ask me what I was gonna be when I grew up as a kid, I'd be like a pilot, a chef, a personal trainer, a dog walker. Like I'll do everything. So that's I say, like, I'm trying to do everything that don't require a resume because I'm tired of writing them shits. So I'm like, I do a lot, and like social media does not portray it because I need to be on it more, but I'd be slacking on my Mac and on that. But like, yeah.
Man, so being on social media is tough, though. I think, like, it's especially for someone in your space. Like when you start talking about like being authentic and being real, that's not what social media is.
Yeah, it's an exaggeration of, I don't know. It's like you put on what you think other people want to see.
That's right.
Or you're more like, I found myself taking pictures, multiple pictures, looking through the pictures and being like, this is the one I'm willing to post, and deleting the rest. And that's normal now. But I had to think back to like when I was a kid with like a regular Kodak camera, and you snap away. And I mean, that's the blurries, the ones in motion, the ones that are off guard. You're not necessarily posed. And even if you look crazy, it's like, this was the real moment though, as opposed to you're stopping and then you're posing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. It's not authentic all the time. Sometimes it is, but it's like, it's a lot to think about. You're having a good time and you'd be like, okay, wait, let me stop and do this. Versus like when you were younger, you could just snap away and you look back at those pictures and they're printed out, held in your hand, tangible. And you know what I'm saying? You're committed to it.
Oh yeah.
And you don't worry about showing other people because now other people want to see it too. So it's just like, it's just become the new resume almost. Like, how fun are you? How interesting are you? This is what, your numbers. This judges how much you put into the world based off of your numbers. No, fucking don't.
Yeah.
I do a lot of shit. Like a lot of people do a lot of shit and they don't record every moment of it.
That's true. That's very true. But for me, I guess what I try to do is I try to use it as a business only. Like I get in and then I get out kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's a responsible way to do it. And it comes with a lot of opportunities. Like I'm not going to front like things haven't come out of it. It comes with a lot of great opportunities. It's just, don't let it consume you and use it as a tool, as opposed to like, this is your life. Like it always weirds me out when people say like, I'm a brand. It's like, like that just sounds so weird for me to say. Like where's your logo for yourself? Like, I don't know. It's just like, now you're the commodity. Yes. But I don't know. I don't know. It's like I just don't like that idea of being a brand. You're perfect. Enjoy that. Let the companies be companies. Get an LLC and let the LLC be the company, but, and I get what they mean when they say that, but like now we are becoming incorporated as a personality, as an attitude, as a aesthetic, as a vibe, as an energy. Like we're incorporating that.
Yeah. Have you thought about creating your own cartoon?
It's a lot of work, but I think I would. I'd probably hop on somebody else's project though, just because it's like someone's going to be able to be more consistent with that than I am. And I have other people's projects, like being like the voice characters and things like that, even for like my friends' cartoons. Plus, Black people need to be more into the cartoon space. I really love
Right.
this.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna be my next question. We don't really have anything that's representing us other than the Boondocks, but that's
The Boondocks was a great one.
Yeah.
And the world was thirsty for the Boondocks because it had a lot of truth. Like when Black people make shows, everybody was fucking with that because it's a lot of truths in that. But you should think about old school Nickelodeon. How many Black shows was on old school Nickelodeon? And they slowly, even though they were successful, they slowly started to get like taken away because they weren't part of the status quo, but they're popular. So yeah, we do need more creators in the cartoon space, even hearing Black voices. And they're coming out. I'm not gonna front like they're not starting to exist more often, but I mean, we need more of them. We definitely need more of them. And then sometimes how Black characters are portrayed when non-Black creators are writing for them, that should be corny. You know what I'm saying? It's corny or it's stereotypical or, you know, it's always like, I'm starting to get tired of like the struggle trope for Black characters. Like we're always in like a struggle, you know, like, or even like, not to say that racism doesn't exist, but like the racism theme, it's like we always have to be struggling. Like slavery is another trope, gang warfare, like those things exist and they need their story time. But also, what about characters that are carefree? We need more of those. You know what I'm saying? Their conflict is very basic, you know, basic conflict, bad day at school or some shit. Like they just wanted to get high type of shit. That's why Friday was such an awesome movie. You know, it was like the worst part about that movie wasn't the worst thing that could happen.
That's right.
If I'm saying,
yeah.
Like well, I like seeing with that. Maybe that's what I mean to say.
Yeah. But what do you think it's going to take for us to get some things accomplished in that space?
We gotta support the people that's already on it.
That's right.
Like these up and coming artists, you know, where people love to say, oh, you know, everyone, the only rap music that's being put out there is violent rap music. Well, how do you consume your music? Because that's not true. There's a lot of great artists putting great content out there, but are you actively seeking that, or are you taking what's being pumped out there? Because we all know anything that's readily available is probably not going to be best for the soul. And that comes from music, entertainment, your food.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, even readily available people ain't always that damn good. So,
right.
You know, we've got to look for people that are already on that track. Speaking of social media, that's a great way to find artists that are not necessarily underground, but are not being pushed by these major labels that obviously have their agenda. There's a lot of great female rap artists. Not to say that singing about sexuality is awesome, but if you want to find females that aren't just strictly singing about their sexuality, look deeper into that artist's catalog. She might have some real shit. It's just that's what she released to the public because that's what the public thinks they want to hear. But no, look into her.
Yeah.
Or find something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a list of dope ass female artists that go in. You know what I'm saying? But
what is in your playlist?
Shit. Early Doja Cat for sure. Tame Impala, MGMT. Shit. I also like the newer shit like Lil Yachty. I love to listen to that. Fat Nick. Everybody says I listen to everything. And that's not true for me because I do not listen to a lot of country music. I don't listen to opera like that. But I like people that shit, man. If it gets me going at the gym, Denzel Curry.
Oh yeah. I
like a violence. I like some joy. I like a nice riff. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody like a lot of shit. So I don't know. For me, it's like I don't. But how about this? I don't want to strictly consume angry music. I don't want to strictly consume that. There's nothing wrong with like, you know, hip hop and all that stuff like that. But like, I don't want to strictly consume blowing somebody's head off, selling drugs. That should get me hype. But I also need shit that comes out at a positive frequency. And stuff that you can vibe to, things without words, so that your mind can drift. Because people like lyrics because it's telling them. But like, try listening to some shit without any words, you know.
That's right.
So you can zone out for a second and see what your mind and heart really have to say about certain things. How does the music make you feel? You don't even pay attention to that because all you can say is you like the beat, but like some of them frequencies in that music, man.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Well, you know, we already talked about color, you know, as it pertains to your creativity. do you put a certain emotion into it, or do you try to represent a certain emotion when you're creating?
Joy.
Okay.
For sure. I try to make every piece, even if it looks wild, I try to make it be something that draws the eye and someone can get into a happy place with it, because I think enough out there that expresses violence and solitude.
Mm-hmm.
But I want, when you look at my work and work that I support, to be happy, joy, something to look into, something that, like I said, just draws the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like if you're like, for me, I'm a big proponent of like psychedelics, like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That opened my world up. That really opened my world up to the importance of frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even Tesla said everything is energy, vibration, and frequency.
Yep.
Because it's how we feel. So what I want to put out there into the world is what I want to continue to manifest. So if you look at my pieces and you feel good, you're like, hey, this is fun. This has got a lot of color to it. This has got care and love into it and happiness into it. Then that's what's up.
Yeah.
I've done.
Yeah. Well, I know you said that you do it sometimes and you take a break from it, and you do it sometimes as far as being an artist. How long though have you been an artist?
Forever. A child, since I can remember picking up a pen and paper. Mm-hmm. And I say that because when you're a child, you don't know lines, you don't know letters, you don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. And tend to take advantage of that. You scribble outside the lines, you pick up whatever color is most appealing at the time. Just because an apple is supposed to be red don't mean you're gonna make it a red apple.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're all naturally inclined to a certain level of creativity. It's just as you get older, do you continue to pay attention to that? Because if you don't nurture it, it will die. You know what I'm saying? It definitely can die. And it can be resurrected, but it can die. But even when I was in school, I used to finish my test before everybody else and then start drawing comics. Mm. You know, I would draw a full-blown comic book strips and things. Or when you get a fresh textbook, you know, I'd be drawing in my textbook or scratching something in the desk or drawing on my arms, drawing on my jeans. And everybody be, oh, you're going to get ink poisoning. You're going to get ink poisoning. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you just want to express yourself. You don't really care. It's like,
yeah.
I don't even think it's true. I don't even get ink poisoning drawn in yourself. I don't think that's true. I think that's like something they say to you.
Well, I mean, people get tattoos, so you know what I'm saying? That's injecting ink under the skin. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like an artist forever, because it's like, even though I might take breaks, creativity is always within me. It's always something that I'm conscious of. And even if I'm not actively painting, best believe I am producing something. I bring things into the world. You know, I'm a child of God. So my natural nation is to produce, is to create, is to spread, you know, and I'm always on that and I'm very conscious of it. So that's why I'm like, I'm always going to be an artist in anything that I do, because I'm conscious of that.
Yeah. Do you see your evolution? Do you see, like when you were born, or when you were 4 or 5 and you first picked up that pen, and where you are now, do you see your maturity and your evolution?
I'm going to say, as I've gotten older, have I gotten more mature? Not a whole, but have I gotten more self-conscious? Yes. And that is how me relating to myself, not always a good thing, because I used to not be so damn cautious about my work. I used to not give up how people perceived it. And yes, perception is important. And I'm more intentional. So maybe in that sense, I've matured, because now it's more intentional in the energy that I'm creating. But I don't want to be more self-conscious in the sense that I restrict what I make for other people's approval. Mm-hmm. I don't. And that's why commissions will fuck you up. Because with commissions, people will tell you, oh, well, can you draw this? Can you draw this? Because it's like, they like your style, but they naturally want to conform it to their style. And it's a blessing to be able to get paid for your work, but it does make you self-conscious, and it does make you maybe make work that you necessarily isn't always passionate about. Like, you're not always passionate about, because you're doing it for money. You know, like I used to draw some really, really wild stuff. And I had a very dark sense of humor as a kid too. So I used to think that shit was funny, to draw like a dog head with like a skeleton body. And that just like, I would just draw some like really weird shit, and looking back at it, I'd probably think I was a little disturbed, but I really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? That to me is when I felt like best, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in my head, but I translated that very well. Yeah. Versus now, like, oh, you know, I'm into flowers now, so let me draw some flowers and things like that. I don't always explore the sides of myself in that sense, because I'm too subconscious.